Here's a story by Bobo called A Pocket for a Corduroy by Don Friedman. There we are. Late one summer afternoon, Lisa and her mother took their laundry to the laundromat. A laundromat is like having your wash machines and dryers at a central location where everybody can use them. As always on such trips, Lisa carried along her toy bear, Corduroy. Today was a busy day at the laundromat. Lots of people were there, and many kinds of people from different places, too. Lisa put Corduroy on a chair and said, "Now, Corduroy, you sit right here and wait for me," Lisa said. "I'm going to help with our wash." And Corduroy did just that. Corduroy waited patiently. Then suddenly he perked up his ears, because Lisa's mother was saying, "Be sure to take everything out of your pockets, Lisa dear. You don't want your precious things to get all wet and soapy." Said Corduroy. "Pockets?" said Corduroy to himself. "I don't have any pockets." He slid off the chair. "I must go find something to make a pocket out of," he said, and he began to look around. First he came to a pile of fancy towels and washcloths, but nothing was the right size or color to be a pocket. Then he looked inside a big laundry sack. It had lots of colorful clothes inside. There ought to be something in there to make a pocket out of. Without hesitating, Corduroy climbed inside the bag, which was filled with pieces filled with wet laundry. The dampness didn't bother Corduroy in the least. "This must be a cave," he said. "I've always wanted to be in a dark, cool cave." When the time came for Lisa to fetch her bear, Corduroy was still gone. "Oh, Mommy!" she exclaimed. "Corduroy isn't here where I left him." "Oh, no," said her mother. "Oh, and it's getting late, and the laundromat will be closing here soon. I think we'll have to look for him tomorrow and come back." So they went off, and Lisa was looking worried. She did not like leaving Corduroy behind. And off they went. And meanwhile, as they were going out the door, a young man wearing an artist's beret was taking his wet laundry out of the bag, the very bag that Corduroy had discovered. And before he knew it, Corduroy was being tossed together with all the sheets and shirts and slacks. In fact, there was Corduroy in the middle of it all. You like this story, Grandma? It's a very nice story.
Nice story.
As he was putting the last of the clothes in, the artist saw that Corduroy the bear had dropped out. He had tumbled onto the floor. "How in thunder did that bear ever get mixed up with all my things?" he said. "Well," he said, "at least I can do for him is give his overalls a good drying." So he took off Corduroy's overalls, and there's Corduroy watching him, and put the coveralls into the dryer with the rest of his clothes. He's a good guy. Corduroy grew dizzy as he watched the clothes spin around, and the artist became inspired. See, in a laundromat, the dryers have windows in the front, and you can see things spin around, spin around. At the end of it, the dryer finally stopped whirling, and the man gathered up the clothes. Then he helped Corduroy put on his warm, dry coveralls. All at once, the manager of the laundromat said, "Closing time! Everybody out!" Oop, turn that page. And everybody did go out, and Corduroy was left alone on top of a dryer. "Seems to me he should have his name someplace. He's too fine a fellow to be lost," said the artist. That night, when everything was closed up, Corduroy began to search again. He was surprised to see something white glowing in the dark. "Maybe it's snow," he said excitedly. "I've always wanted to play in snow." And out the box it came with snowflakes, but they really weren't snowflakes. They were soap flakes, soap. And Corduroy began to slip and slide, and then went down onto the floor. He said with a smile, "Oh, what fun! I've always wanted to ski down a steep mountainside." He landed paws first in an empty laundry basket. "Hey, this must be a cage." The laundry basket is a big wire basket that sits on wheels, and you can move your laundry around. But he didn't know it was a laundry basket. He just thought it was a cage. "I've never wanted to live inside a cage like a bear in a zoo," he said. But it was late and it was dark, and he felt very drowsy, and soon he nodded off to sleep. The next morning, Lisa came early and got the managers, who said, "Well, I left something here yesterday," she said. "May I look around?" "Certainly," said the manager. "My customers are always leaving things around." And inside they looked around, and Lisa was searching underneath the chairs and in back of the washing machines when she heard the manager call for her. "Is this what you're looking for, senorita?" Let it focus. There it goes. It was Corduroy in a laundry chair basket. "Yes, yes, and it's my best friend," she shouted. She reached in and picked Corduroy up out of the basket. "Ah, so this is where you've been, you little rascal. It's time I took you home." Lisa thanked the manager and ran out the door and down the street to home. "I thought I told you to wait for me," she said. "Why did you wander away?" "I went looking for a pocket," Corduroy said. "Oh, Corduroy, why didn't you tell me you wanted a pocket?" And she gave him an affectionate squeeze. That very morning, she sewed a pocket on Corduroy's overalls. "And here's a card I've made for you with your name on it, for you to keep it tucked inside the pocket." "I've always wanted a purple pocket with my name tucked inside," said Corduroy, as him and Lisa touched noses. The end.